So I bought a Samsung Galaxy Tab off of Amazon and almost had my account info compromised. Hey everyone, my name is J.I. I make videos on the technology in our lives and how we can use it to make our lives easier. Because of my experience, I'm warning anyone to be extra careful when buying a second-hand Android device from Facebook Marketplace or even Amazon secondhand. Yeah, even they can be compromised. There are even some cases of sealed Android devices that have been tampered with, which is kinda scary. Let me tell you what happened. I purchased this device on Amazon the other day, a Galaxy Tab A9. By the way, this is not the exact tablet I'm holding. It was an open box model that came at a much better price than brand new. And usually open box models go through rigorous testing and repacking when it's resold. I have never had any issues with anything I bought on Amazon, including open box iPhones and Apple Watches. Anyway, I get this device in hand and I'm stoked to set it up as a secondary tablet that I would use for all of my smart home things, so controlling all of my smart home devices. Upon booting up, I was informed that the bootloader for the tablet was unlocked. That was the dead giveaway that a custom ROM was installed. And the thing is, everything else looks the same as Samsung's OEM ROM. And by OEM, I mean stock ROM. So what comes from the factory? The only way you can really tell upon logging in is that Magisk, a popular rooting app for Android, was pre-installed. Now, someone who is well-versed in the Android world and has rooted multiple phones before, this was an easy pickup and I avoided logging in with any of my legitimate accounts. I actually used a burner account to see if what my eyes were telling me were true. I was also curious to see if this was a custom ROM or not. However, to the average user, they might miss or even ignore the message that the bootloader is unlocked, thinking that it might be an error or something upon booting up. The problem here is that anyone can install a nefarious ROM or OS on the device that looks like the stock Samsung experience. And it's really easy to do. Even worse, they don't have to install any ROM. They can just unlock the bootloader and have free reign to install any third-party apps on the existing factory software. So anything outside of the Play Store that hasn't been vetted, they can pretty much install. From there, they have access to anything, all of your data, your logins, your passwords, pretty much anything they want to. As soon as you log into the Wi-Fi network, you're giving them a backdoor access into your home and into your personal life. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly what they did. Maybe it was just someone tinkering around. They unlocked the bootloader and installed a custom ROM. It could have been completely innocent, and then they just returned the device. Now, I'll admit, this is something that Amazon really needs to vet and do better with when selling open box items. Millions of people buy open box, and to lose that kind of trust is damning. Suffice to say, Amazon quickly resolved the issue for me after I pointed it out, and they sent me a brand new device. But not everyone can be that lucky. What if you want to buy a secondhand device on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist? I can't stress this enough. You need to be extra cautious here. And for any of you diehard Android fans, before you get your feelings hurt, think about it. iPhone can definitely be jailbroken, or rooted as we would say, but it's far more complicating, time-consuming, and obvious when that's done. So hard, in fact, that only the iPhone 14 and below have any sort of jailbreaking method available at the moment. Anything newer than that, well, it's next to impossible to jailbreak at the time of this video. That says a lot about the security and peace of mind you get with an Apple device, Apple user or not. I'm sure you can agree with that. You may say Samsung Knox alleviates some of the concern, and while that might be true, what about all of the other Android devices out there? The point of this video is not to say Apple is better than Android or try and sway you in one direction or the other. I'm really just trying to say be extra careful and vigilant when purchasing an Android device, new or not. I would even go as far as saying take those extra cautionary steps with an iPhone if you like, but it's a lot less likely. There's a reason that Apple devices are used for those who are not as technologically literate as some of us may be. Put your ego aside and just think about why a lot of older folks and less tech-savvy people lean towards an iPhone. There's a reason I always recommend to those individuals who are looking to buy secondhand to just go with an iPhone. This is not because the latest Samsung Galaxy or Google Pixel won't work for them. It's because I always recommend they meet at an Apple store where Apple employees have always checked over used iPhones for individuals at no extra charge to make sure the phone that they're buying from the seller isn't locked under a plan, water damaged, or anything of that sort. It's a service I always appreciated from them and has given individuals that extra peace of mind. Samsung, take notes. Anyway, I hope you've learned something from my experience. Be cautious, stay safe, and hopefully this makes buying secondhand an enjoyable experience for you when you purchase your next device. My name is J.I. Thank you for watching, and thank you for kicking it with me.